Oh, wow. This might actually work then.
What?
What's that?
What?
Why I switched from Instagram to Facebook.
Okay.
Just to see what's going on. If it's just a Facebook issue or if it's an Instagram issue. I think it's an Instagram issue.
I don't know.
Hey, does anybody know what kind of door panel this is? Yeah, I know, right? It just doesn't feel the same not being on Instagram.
Why?
Well, because, I don't know. I mean, Facebook is fun, but I like going on Instagram.
Okay.
It just seems to be, you know, I don't know.
Sure.
So today, guys, we're working on, I know, right, an F-150. What's up, Anthony? We got an F-150 in the house. Is it like me, or does it seem like we're doing a lot of F-150s?
I think it's only you, man.
Think it's only me? Yeah. So this one is, of course, a little bit older, and it has that cool 5x7 location that needs to be routed out a little bit to fit a 6.5. The nice thing about it...
Why have to route it?
Why do you have to route it out? Oh, that is a wonderful question, Fernando. Well, for one, it's a 5x7 hole, which is smaller than the 6.5. And if you don't route it out, then your surround here is going to rub into the actual door panel. Yep. And you'll ruin these pretty new Flax Evo speakers that we're putting in. And that would just be terrible, wouldn't it?
Correct.
Now, when the car first showed up today, where did it go? Oh, no. We got our bottle of alcohol solution. So we bathed the car in alcohol. You know, door handles, this area here. Of course, the pull handles, those handles. The steering wheel before we put on our cool little cover. That. The seat controls, the armrest, the hatch. So rubbed it all, got it all. You know, the sneeze zone, as it were, covered that all. You know, with the alcohol, got that all done. So the car is semi, you know, as good as it's going to get. What I was going to show you guys, so this was, the last one of these we did was the video they're watching right now, the 911. So these are the Hertz Milli Legends. So this is an adapter for the Milli Legends that we'd made. And the cool thing is, all we had to do was change the circumference on this to make it a tad bit bigger, like 0.1 bigger to fit the focals. And then, of course, over here she's cooking away. She already did our countersunk screw holes, so those are going to sink down so that when we put the screws back into the factory locations, it will be flat onto here. So as you can kind of see from this one, see how that sits a little bit lower and that one's nice and flush. This is even deeper. It's twice as deep on the 1/4 inch, so it's like it goes down 1/8 of an inch, which makes it easy to clear the head of the speaker. Christian, hey guys, can you believe Facebook took down my post supporting you guys? And yeah, I could see it. Facebook is not exactly, yeah, we won't say anything, but I could see it.
That's weird. Facebook is weird.
Facebook is doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Is the Kicker KX 4-channel worth the extra money over the, yes. Yes, it is. Yes, you definitely, if you can get the KX, always go for KX. Bobby, then you guys put on a hazmat suit. I mean, you know, the thing of it is, and there's a lot of discussion of this whole thing, obviously, in the public and in the private sector. So a lot of guys, like I watched a show last night, industry guys were talking about it. A guy named Thomas Keenan who does a lot of GPSs, and they were talking about cars that they work on. And he's like, you know, primarily they work on like garbage trucks and dump trucks and stuff like that, are just absolutely disgusting cars to begin with. Compound that onto this, and it's like, what do you do? I mean, you guys have seen some of the cars we work on. They're absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we get exposed to some pretty nasty stuff every day of the week. But, there again, you know, you want to be as safe as you can. And we understand that not everyone believes in wiping their butts and washing their hands or wiping their butts with hands. You know what it is. It's a really strange time going on right now. So, it's all good. But we'll keep trucking along and doing what we do for as long as we can. And that'll be that.
That's right.
Oh, so it's not gonna work? Alright, hold on.
Saludos.
Hey, what's up? Can I ask a question? Should I buy amp or go active I have a DSR1 and a Rock. Ooh, if you have the means to go active, or buy amps, should go. If you have the means to go full active, meaning you have the 4 channels required, by all means, do it. Now, if you're not familiar with the crossover points and where they need to be and stuff like that, then play it safe and go buy amp. The amount of power loss is minimal. It's a minimal amount of power loss. But if you know what the crossover points should be, then by all means, go for it. You can definitely have a lot more fun. You just have to be super safe with that tweeter and, of course, not blow it. But what going full active will give you the ability to do is actually have some level control, which is really nice. So you get basic level control with a passive crossover network. You know, usually it's 0, -2 on the tweeter or -3 on the tweeter. When you go full active, you will get full control of that tweeter, and you may want to turn it down a little bit more. So it just adds a little bit more adjustment to it. That's really where the fun is. It's not the power. The power is so minimal. I would be proud to wear that shirt. You should. It's a beautiful shirt. The shirt he's talking about is the 5-star USA shirt that we just made. It's blue. It's got a red, white, and blue flag on it. The little stars are 5-star.
You don't have it?
No, I took it home.
What?
Because we have new shirts coming. We got 2 new shirts. Hopefully by this weekend, by Saturday's show, we should have the new shirts. We made a bunch of shirts this month, so definitely you want to head over to teespring.store/5star. Check out some of the new shirts we have. Ooh, you know what that is?
What is that?
That's the laser is done. Let's take a look what we got. So I only printed one first because he only needs one right away. This was clocked in at 16 minutes. It would have been faster, but I added the cool little 5-star logo, so that always adds some time. Now, when we're doing these, see this circle, we're going to save this circle. We're not going to throw this away, because what can happen is we can actually use this to cut out more parts. So as you see here, like this was a circle from a black pair we made. We took that out. Here is a circle from another one. We took out some little cigarette lighter adapters. So big pieces like that, we're always going to save them, because all we have to do is set them back inside here. It'll read that barcode, and it will be good to go. Now you can see from the side there, see how that burned in to 1/8 of an inch. That'll allow those heads to be nice and flush.
Christopher McNulty.
McNulty's in the house. They're doing a webcast at some point for Kingpin. Yeah, I don't remember. I think it's Thursday.
What time?
I don't know. Maybe he could
tell me.
He could put a link to it in here if he knows how to do the typing thing. Let me see the speaker. Let's see if it fits.
Let's see.
Jesus, man, really?
Okay, well, you said let me see the speaker.
Oh, look at that.
This one is gonna twist a little bit.
Yeah, well, the holes are here. The holes are up here.
Okay.
The holes are 10 and 2 and 12 and 4 and 6, 3, 9, 12.
6, 3, 9, 12.
Yep, so we got 6, 3, 9, 12. So I'll pre-drill the holes, meaning I'll thread them for them so that we can just put those in, and that's how it'll sit, as you can see. But this is what I'm concerned with, is this area right here. We need to be able to put those screws in so it mounts back into the factory location. Countersunk, it'll do that. And I'm going to spray paint these black. They were out of black acrylic last time I ordered, so I just got clear.
I'm going to leave it clear.
You going to leave it clear?
Yeah.
All right, leave it clear. Do what you want. Do what you want. All right, hold on.
Do what I want.
What to use for splicing signal wires from factory deck? How would you do it? Well, it depends what you're trying to do, I guess. If you're just trying to, like, splice into them, like, because you're going to put in a standard high-level to low-level adapter, we typically take... Do you have wire strippers? You got your wire strippers?
I got my strippers in here.
Let me see your strippers. We typically take these strippers right there. We put the wire in. This closes, and that will pull the wire apart. And then we do a poke wrap and solder, depending on the size of the wire. We spread it apart. We poke a hole through it, so right through the middle, so you get a hole. You thread the wire through. You pinch it back down. You wrap it around. And then if you're of the skilled nature, you can go ahead and put a little bit of solder on it. That's the one part you have to be careful of, is that depending on where it's at in conjunction to any computers or body control modules or anything like that in the car, and I know it's a speaker wire close to the amp or anything, because you don't want to sit on there with the soldering and camp out and heat things up back down that line, so you have to be super careful with that.
All right, so...
Now, if you need to use RCAs, then just pick up the Stinger X series, these guys, which are the X12 line. These guys will work. They're just speaker wire with RCAs on the back.
4 o'clock on Friday.
4 o'clock on Friday for okay, that's cool. I'll set my watch. We have an online Kenwood training tomorrow. The Frostbite box for the Ram Gen 4 look bitchin'. Well, it is a full fiberglass box, Bobby. So, I mean, they did a really nice job on it. So, yes, it's not going to be wood or anything like that. So, it is going to be kind of steep. Plus, you're going to be able, my guess is they're going to make it for the square subs, which is, kind of cool. When setting gains after radio max is determined, next in the chain is DM608. Do you check at DSP outputs before? All right, so, all right. Here's the deal. When you're checking to do your gains out of the radio, if it's a factory radio, you really can't do it without seeing what it looks like first. So you need to do a sine sweep with a digital multimeter first. All right. So if you just say 1,000 hertz, set my gains and go, and it's a factory radio, you're gonna blow something up. It's going to be that simple because there's a factory EQ curve in there. So what you need to do is find out what each frequency is playing at. If you play a sine sweep where you're playing individual frequencies and looking at the digital multimeter in AC in real time, and let's say at 1,000 hertz it only puts out, let's say 4 volts, but at 2,000 hertz it puts out 5 volts. At 8,000 hertz, let's say it puts out less voltage. Like, it's an EQ. There's an EQ on it. If you don't take that in consideration, so if 1,000 hertz was lower than everything else, then you just gained everything else up substantially higher. That could be bad. So you have to find out what where your highest output is, and then use that to figure out what you're going to do, and or keep your gains down as low as possible from the get-go, and not worry about getting that little percentage of gain output from there. Up. So, that's really the only way to do it. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, got to be real careful. Now, if you're dealing with an aftermarket radio, none of that applies because the aftermarket radio will have a flat signal coming out of it. Then when you're going in your DSP, there again, gains need to stay as low as possible because you have an EQ. So the same thing applies. If you gain up, you gain down. So let's say you go in, you're setting up your EQ, and you gain up a bunch of frequencies, but let's say you pull down 1,000 hertz because there's a peak at 1,000 hertz, and then you use 1,000 hertz to see where your distortion is. Yeah, you're going to blow everything up at that point because you've turned everything up or pulled everything up, and 1,000 hertz is pulled down. So again, you have to be real careful here when you're using EQs and DSPs.
So somebody asked about the crimper. Oh, I think that was Bobby.
Oh, asked about the crimper?
Yeah, zero gauge crimper.
That's on DNF tool drawer.
Yeah, but let's show
and so it is this guy right here, the hydraulic crimping tool. And honestly, I just watched Steve Mead do it. I saw what the model number that he used, and I ordered that one.
Boom. Thank you, Steve.
5-star has strippers. This is the piece here, move your arm. And then we use the 35 for the 0 gauge lugs that we have.
You gotta go in. What's going on?
Oh, guys? You're crazy. Now the lugs that we have, we get from Amp Global, but they sell these all over the internet. I even think they sell these at Home Depot, to be honest with you. But we get the full copper, these guys here. And this is what we use for 0 gauge. 4 gauge, we have crimpers for those we don't worry about, but yeah. Yep. All right. Where do you guys get your primer wire? I'm looking for 10 and 12 gauge that's fairly flexible. There again, all our wire we get from Amp Global. We get the Stinger products. There's a ton of companies out there that sell online wise. Maybe check out New Concepts.
Yeah.
They're a online distributor, stuff like that. Focal Flex Evos or Focal ES components for sound quality. I mean, the Evos are really, really nice.
Yeah, these are the Evos right here.
I mean, yeah, those are the Evos.
Right here.
This is the third or fourth set we've put in right now, and dude, way to go! Way to go! It's definitely an improvement.
Sounds like Fernando needs to be tested. I got tested. Look, negative, positive. I'm fine. Right there. See?
You're terrible.
Perfect.
Have the Rockford Fosgate P302, which is better? Way to go, P501, or Prime 501, or T1000. Okay, hold on. To run Focal front components. Everyone thinks that's funny. Alright, so have a Rockford Fosgate Prime 302. Alright, I can't even see the rest of that. Which is better way to go? A Prime 501 or the T1005 to run full cal front components, 6.5 rears, doors? I mean, okay, so the 501 is probably going to be a little bit more power than what comes out of that 1005. The advantage of the 1005 is that you're going to get a front and rear. They're, again, not totally necessary. I wouldn't run a Prime 2-channel on my highs. Well, that might be the AB class one. If that's the AB class one, which I think it is, then yeah, you're fine. You could do that. Just get the 501 and not do fader. I mean, if you're just going straight power, not worrying about EQ, DSP, and all that fun stuff, yeah, that'll work.
All right, Pioneer 4500 NEX. Stop outputting from the right rear RCA channel. Brand new patch cables. Brand new 4-channel amp.
So anytime you have an issue with anything like that, like a speaker randomly stops working, or okay, you have to do a due diligent amount of testing. So, a digital multimeter on the back of the radio set to AC, playing a test tone connected to the output of that RCA will tell you if that RCA is working or not. And you can just, use one that's working to see what you're getting, compare it to the one that's not working. If you get a signal coming out of it, then you know it's not that. Move down the line. Another thing you can simply do is switch the RCAs left and right. See if it's the amplifier. See if it's the speaker. There's a lot you could do, but the simplest thing, digital multimeter behind the radio, seeing if you still have power coming out of that lead. Play some pink noise so it's a constant output, and you're good to go. They both are high risk. Yeah, pretty much. What do you think of the new Sundown? I haven't seen it.
Nope.
Could Pioneer Head, could be the Pioneer Head. It could be anything. I mean, it's a lot that it can be. Dean Farrell crimpers, what's difference on the square or... Okay, so the reason why on the Farrell crimpers, you have two different style crimpers. You have a square, you have a round, or stop sign shaped, I should say. Hold on, let me flip the camera so we can look at Fernando's here. This is the stop sign shape. This is the square. Really, the difference comes down to the hole you're trying to put them in. The square tends to make the wire a little bit smaller and will allow us to fit it, like the 8 gauge fit into certain things that might normally not fit into. Where this, like, we can't necessarily get an 8 gauge into this, but we can get an 8 gauge into this. Right. So we'll use these and not those. Once it gets into the amplifier, it's just going to crush into place and not really care.
Like a camera.
Dude, you're mental. Saludos,
Octavio.
Will the Kicker KS speakers sound any different than the old Kicker? Yes, they sound totally different. They are not the same. They are not the same speakers at all. Totally different. Totally tubular, dude. What do you think of the news? Okay, yeah, Sundown. Why did I read that twice? I know, that was sad. Will the LC8 correct that so you don't have to sweep? No. One thing you have to keep in mind, okay, so this was actually a topic that I was thinking about doing for a video, because a lot of people think that they get like an LC product and hook it up to a factory radio, it does some kind of magic, and the reality of it is it doesn't. And why this is important is that an LC product or a WaveTech or any high-level to low-level adapter, we'll keep it WaveTech or audio control, because those in my mind are probably two of the higher-end units out there. I know there are some others, and I apologize for not mentioning them, but whatever. When you feed something into it, it will mirror that all the way through. So once the signal comes in, it matches it, it just lowers the output voltage, it doesn't color it, and it comes out the other side. The only way to fix that somehow is with some form of an EQ. All right? Because you need to be able to de-EQ that signal and make it flat. To do that, you're going to want to, instead of getting like an LC8, is maybe jump up to something like this, the LCQ1. Now, the LCQ1 is essentially an LC7i or an LC6i. Well, it's an LC7i because it has AccuBase. It's not an LC8 because the 8 would have one extra channel, I understand. But you get these 6 bands of equalization here, here, and 5 here for the subwoofer or for that channel. And you can then go in and have some manipulation, though analog, to that signal. We took this yesterday out of a Toyota Tundra that we had done 5 years ago, and went with a new radio because that radio didn't have that truck at the time. It was new, hot, and sexy. It was 2015. Now it's 2020, and we have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. But we looked at our signal. You know, the first thing we wanted to do was throw an RTA on this because we did this 5 years ago. We wanted to see what it looked like because back then we used handheld PAA3 RTAs to match the input and the output and get, see what this looked like. And we used a mic this time to see what it looked like, and we were shocked at how good of a job. Pat yourself on the back, Fernando. We did with just this amount of technology, not using a DSP. So this is a totally relevant piece, and if you're trying to come up with something that you don't want to go crazy full DSP, look at something like this. And there again, this is left the same way it was when we took it out of the car. There again, there's that 1,000 hertz we were talking about. There was a problem there. It was actually really low, so we've had to bump that up a little bit. But as you can see, 250 was crazy. Actually, I think I played with this one yesterday because as you can see the 250 here, but there's not a lot of adjustments going on in this. And this is just it might have been crazy, who knows? But you don't have to go crazy, just a little bit here and there, and that will go a long way. I know I played with these yesterday because they were fun. And we were checking signal, and there was a blown subwoofer, so we were playing with that. But, you don't have to do much, but it will give you a lot.
All right. I got this one. Ryan, hey guys, Jeff Smith, fanboy here. This 1200 Hertz Melee 6.5 components.
Okay.
Right, active. Forerunner. I have a 5-6 channel open.
5 and 6 channel open.
It's open. 3 and 4, 5 and 6 to the mids, or too much power, or used for the rear field. Will you bridge 3 and 4?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. So the question is, it's 6 channel amp. I got a set of components. I'm gonna go full active. Do I want to put the 1200 on everything? Are they Millie Pros or Millie Legends?
Millie
Pros.
I'm gonna say it's Millie Pros.
Either way, that amount of power will be plenty to power those speakers. Just 1 and 2 on the tweeters, 3 and 4 on the mid range. And then use 5 and 6 to power the rear fill if you're a rear fill guy. Now, if you're not going to be doing any rear fill at all, then by all means, bridge it to the front. We've done that plenty of times. Like we've taken, it is going to be a lot of power. There's no doubt about it. But I'm a big fan of power. So, but no, basically the 4 on the 4 is plenty of power to do what you're trying to do and add the rear. All right, what did this say? Hey, gentlemen, from closed down Ohio. I know, right?
It's crazy, man.
So Miami's getting closed down. This is going to be weird, people. I mean, this is going to be tough. This is definitely going to be tough. I don't know. We talk about this a lot because obviously we're in the business of doing things that people really don't need. Mm-hmm. I mean, we need it for our mental health, but not for our physical health. Like everyone that's into car audio, this is their outlet. This is their yes, I need this. So hopefully, and that's really the main reason why this is carried on for so many years. I've been doing this 30 years, and a lot of the guys I know have been doing the same.
Or you.
So, but this is going to be tough. This is a whole different animal here, and I'm pretty sure we're going to lose some stereo shops along with some restaurants, and God, there's going to be a lot of things that aren't going to make it to the other side of this, and it's scary as hell. There's no question about it. No question about it. But here, we're going to try not to focus on that when we're talking to you guys because we want this to be positive, and we want to give you guys at least an hour, 5 minutes, 10 minutes of something other than doom and gloom because there's plenty of goofy. See, there he is right there. There's plenty of stuff going on the TV up there that we just need a break from. We just need to disconnect. And talking about car stereo, it gives us something we love. And something we can think about. Yeah. And, hey, if you're in quarantine, you can still sit in your car.
Hey, tune you the car.
I mean, you can still sit in your car. You're not talking to anybody. It's just you in your car having fun. Yeah. Just cough on your steering wheel and don't come here. Get better than come. I canceled my Clearwater vacation. I understand.
That's crazy.
I understand.
Sorry to hear that.
Hey, I would too. Hi, if my car stereo doesn't have radio steering wheel controls, can I use something to control my Pioneer head unit from the steering wheel? Doesn't Metro make something like that? I thought Metro made an add-on steering wheel control. Check Metro.
Yes.
Check Metro or Access. I know somebody makes an add-on steering wheel control for
What's up,
it.
Jason? Jason is in the house.
Damn Toyota Corolla virus. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's good. That was good. Good job, man. Oh, way to go, Fro. All right, guys. Well, we've had some fun today. We'll try to, obviously we're going to try to keep our schedule. We tried to go on Instagram, and that did not work. Another thing you can do, too, because we're constantly adding more and more videos up to it, is head over to Facebook. If you're here on Facebook, make sure you become a member of the 12-volt Clean Wire Club, so you guys can check out cool clean wire installations. It's only wiring. It's not fancy pages or panels and all that.
Yep.
So anyone can join. It doesn't matter. In industry, out of industry, hobbyist, SPL guy. I love the SPL guys because they have some of those SPL guys have some of the best wiring I've ever seen with the 5,000 runs of zero gauge. I love it. I love it to pieces. I think it's the sexiest thing ever. So if you're an SPL guy, make sure you post up there. I want to see your awesome, 5,000-6,000 batteries, your big SMD distribution panels and all that fun stuff. Post those pictures. Join that club. And then for the rest of you guys who are sitting at home with nothing to do, make sure you head over to YouTube and check out the new channel, which is Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips. Basically what we do is we take live shows like this that are an hour long, and we've cut them into this individual questions so that you guys can easily search and find the information you're trying to do. There's a bunch of playlists that kind of narrow the question down. I've tried to keep it as simple as possible. If it's about an amp, you go to the amp playlist, and there's a bunch of videos about that. We're up to there's 70 or 80 some odd videos up there right now. I'm trying to make them as fast as I can, so essentially I try to get a couple once or twice a week up there to just build that thing up, and because we're creating content faster than we can edit it to put out there. But make sure you join, become a member. We're at about 530, 540, something like that up there now. Obviously we're trying to ramp up to get to 1,000 as quick as possible. I made the mistake of thinking I could get a custom URL as soon as I had 100, but no, you have to have 30 days and 100, so we're just counting the days till we can make the cool custom URL. So that's that.
All right.
We're going to let you guys go. Have a good rest of your day. If you're chilling at home, head over to YouTube, watch some cool videos. You guys know what to do. We'll talk to you later. Say bye. Oh, it worked that time.
Yeah?
Yeah. I guess I had to reboot.
There you go. See?
I feel so much better. Looks like that dash is puking that piece of carpet.
Huh?
I said it looks like that dash is puking that piece of carpet. Like, bleh. There's Manny. What's going on, everyone, and welcome to this happy Thursday. We hope you all are doing well, whether you're at work or at home or whatever the heck is going on. We finally got this to work. Pretty excited about that. Hey, what's up from Germany? You're probably at home. Well, it's late there, too. Anyways, so how's everybody doing today? What's up from California? What's up, Brian? Finally, 5-star fix. I know, right? We tried to go yesterday, but it didn't work. My phone was doing dumb stuff, so rebooted it today. And hey, magically, everything's fixed. But we're working on an F-150. Total shocker there. Let me show you what's going on in the back. We're in the home stretch here trying to get this thing finished up today so it can move on to its merry way. But we got some Alpine PDX V9 love going on here, along with some Focal new Evo Flax. I'll put up a picture of this tonight so you guys can get a better idea of what's going on. Essentially, the customer had started the install, then decided he didn't want to keep going, so we took it all back apart, started over. We got the power and ground are going that way. This is not an aluminum frame car. This is a steel frame car, but he had already ran a power and ground, so we pulled them out, and we're going to run them as well. He added in the flat components that he didn't have before. Ran speaker wires and signal up the driver's side. He has one of these cool Pioneers that has the detachable screen with the metric kit that's getting ready to go back in. We mounted the 6.5s in the door. Made some mounts for them. I believe, did we talk about that yesterday on Facebook?
I think so.
Yes, we did talk about that yesterday on Facebook. Plus, Fernando took some really cool pictures, I'm sure. Got the Flax Evo tweeter mounted up into the pillar here. That was a pain in the butt. Hang on. There's nice looking Fernando. So what we had to do is make a laser cut, a triple stack 1/4 inch mount cup, and then sanded a little bit on this side here, as you can see. And then we glued on these 2 wings, and then of course screwed it into the factory location, and that gives us this nice tweeter mounted into the factory spot. The reason why we wanted to add it into the factory, not use, or add it in there and not use the factory grill, which I have no idea where I put the factory. Oh, here's the factory grill. The factory grill has a really tight mesh. It's really, really tight, and I didn't want to restrict the flow of the tweeter, so we took a lot of extra time and made those mounts there. And of course we custom cut the ones for the doors, and they have little 5-star logos on them that you never see, whatever. Totally understand that. But with that being said, he'd actually done a really excellent job on the install himself. He covered everything in flexible loom, used Crutchfield wiring. I've never seen Crutchfield wiring, but it had all Crutchfield in it. They sound wonderful. The Evos sound great. You guys are going to get part 2 of the other 911 F-150. This is the farthest thing from a 911. This guy he's done an awesome job on everything so far. He just ran out of time. He's like, I need this done. He has panels covering over the back. He did the backs. He started at the back, so he sound treated everything there and put ABS panels on it. So we did the same for the front. We made custom ABS panels, finished the front doors. Dean, who builds your sub boxes? So we use a couple different guys right now for subwoofers. Obviously, if we're buying them, we use Foxbox, we use Frostbite, anything truck related. We also use A-Trend. But when we need custom builds, we have a guy named Sean that used to work for Brightstar. He doesn't work there anymore. And then we have a new guy that we just are starting to work with, a guy named Will that's local here. I'll talk to them and see if they want their information given out. Will might, but that's who we use. Let's go back through these real quick. Do you know any sealed loaded enclosures with a 10 or 12 inch that fits the spare tire well of a 2006 Mustang? No, that's going to have to be something custom made for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to think. 2006, there's not a lot of room in that spare tire well, because I mean, when we use it for our amplifier racks, there's barely enough room. The floor is really shallow there because it's not really even for a tire anymore. They just give you that pump. So I mean, you could probably fit something shallow, but I can't think of it. Honestly, I would just do the one either in the corner or the 2 up against the seat, and there's plenty of guys that sell those online that you can get those from. What amp would be better for the Focal flex components in the front and coaxials in the rear? What amp would be better? I mean, personally, my favorite is going to be the audio control, the 4.800. I like that one. If I'm going, because they make the D and the LC, we would do that. We also do an option like in this truck where we do the Q-Class 1005. That would be on the minimum side, and then the audio control would be on the maximum side. JL has a stealth box for the Mustang, probably. Oh, I know they do, but you'll be able to find one that is a lot more reasonable online somewhere else. That's for sure. Hey, my favorite installers. Hey, our favorite viewer. Let's move up here. Have you guys ran into any issues with the older GM vehicles running the PAC GM1 whatever harness and the chime being super loud? Yeah. I mean, for PAC on the so I don't know what harness that one is, but I know with the RP4, RP5s, they all have volume controls for them, and if it has the outboard little chime module, there's a volume control on the chime module itself. So I don't know which one you have. Hail from Jamaica. I'm watching your videos, but I've never seen an infinite baffle subwoofer installation. I haven't done one in a really long time. I mean, other than just putting something in the rear deck. Yeah, that's a tough one. We did a super one. We did a really years and years ago. We did okay, straighten up, focus. Years and years ago, when Nathan from Pack now, when we worked together, he did 4 Orion XTRs, what were called IBs or infinite baffles. And the secret to the infinite baffle is just making sure that the front of the woofer and the rear of the woofer never see each other. You have to make sure that they never do that. If they do, they're going to cancel each other out and you're going to have bad results. What would you recommend in regards to amps and speakers for 2018 while keeping the stock radio? You're going to want something that has a DSP built into it. With that particular car, you're going to need to find out how that factory amp, if it has a factory amplifier, you're going to need to find out first how that factory amplifier is fed. And if it doesn't have a factory amplifier, then you're pretty much okay. If it has a center channel, you're going to have to retain your center channel. There's a lot to keep in mind in that one. That's just not an easy, like, buy this and go. Stealth box is super expensive in Germany, right? Yeah, exactly. Have you used the Focal DSP, and if so, how'd you like the software? No, we have not used the Focal DSP. It's a bit of a touchy subject, but no, I haven't even played with the software yet. It's kind of one of the only products of theirs we haven't. Yes, that's me. There is no pack for my truck. I need one made to keep wiring. All have aftermarket radio features. That's strange. No sound? I need a bypass for Bose system. Check. Metro makes a ton of Bose harnesses or amplifier GM harnesses. Just Google like GM amplifier bypass harness, and it should take you to a page or give you a link to a page that Access or Metra has, where there's just tons of strange harnesses for bypassing GM amplifiers. What I would recommend doing is taking a picture of your amplifier harness first and then matching up accordingly, because there's several different ones, so you need to know what yours looks like first, and then you may find one that matches as far as plugs in, but the pin configuration might be off, which is fine because you can always figure it out by repinning the harness. JL Audi versus Rockford Fosgate, which is better for full system? I don't know, it really comes down to what you like. I mean, Rockford makes the DSR1 for DSP. I mean, they make the 360, but that's kind of not real relevant anymore. But, you know, JL has the VXIs. It just depends. Depends on what kind of sound you like. How feature-rich will the new Kenwood built-in DSP be? Honestly, don't know yet. I mean, Fernando took a look at it. What do you think? You good? You need me to pull that wire?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Don't know yet. We'll let you know more as we get our hands on it. Is the pack RP4 APCH41 R2 available? Yeah, of course. Yep, it's been available. You want me to pull that while you're pushing?
I got it.
Or is that all the way?
That's it.
Really?
Yeah.
It came that far. Oh, that'll work. So one of the problems we were having was, in this particular car, the power wire was only coming out of the firewall there, and his fuse holder was mounted to this bolt, and right there, that meant that he was like way far away from the positive post, which is over here. We needed our fuse holder to be somewhere in this area, so we got it just long enough to go right here, and that'll keep us within length, a safety length for this particular installation. To do that, we moved the amp over 12 inches into the center of the vehicle, and that meant we had to move the power window motor over 4 inches. So essentially we unscrewed it and put the screw that was on the left into the right hole, and then made 2 new screw holes using rivets, put it all into place, and that gave us the room we needed. Hey Dean, 2.75 speaker cap recommending, gonna be adding, I believe off 47. All the Kenwoods come with a 47 microfarad cap, all in their little shrink wrapped up thing. We've opened them up to look. So anything smaller than that, basically you're probably, for a 2.5, you want to cross it over somewhere around 350. So What type of screws do you use to screw door speakers to brackets? We use these. They're a Stinger screw. Hold on. It's called a PPH12, and it's essentially this here. It's a little bit fatter. Bites in really well. We never have any issues. We carry them in 1/2 inch. We carry them in 3/4, and of course we carry them in 1 inch. But those are typically what we use. Then if we have to like do something that is needs more or a firmer mount, we'll come into here and we'll grab these guys and we'll put those in. So if it's a real heavy speaker, we'll use these to mount it in place. Beautiful day outside. I have a kicker that smoked on me, but still plays good. Could it be bad still? I mean, you probably burnt off some of the anti-corrosion crap on it, or you could have accidentally burnt it and then tack welded it back in place. I've seen that happen before. So keep playing it till it dies. Be my best guess. I got a Pioneer GMD6. Okay, so the amp with the bass knob plugged into. There's definitely more output, but I don't hear a difference. Okay, so on the Pioneers, the bass knob is for boom. It's not a volume control. It's a volume control / boom. So it does less volume control and more boom. So it's like an EQ knob. That's about all it does. Do fast rings make a big difference? Fernando?
Yeah.
There you go. There's the answer to that question. Yes, fast rings make a big difference. How many times you got to hear us tell you this? So you have this speaker here in this grill, all right? It's behind here. And it is, the factory one is custom, it's a 5x7. It fits up. We just went to a 6.5. There's a gap like this big between where this speaker sits and where this grill is. And we want to make sure our sound comes through this grill. Otherwise, it's just going to go all through here. The fast ring, or any version of that fast ring, meaning you could use the Metro one, you could use Home Depot foam. It really doesn't matter. All you need to do is make sure that all the energy from the speaker that's sitting behind this grill comes through this grill and gets into the car here. You don't want it to get, you're paying for the sound. You don't want the door panel to hear it. It doesn't need it. Your ears do. So by pushing it all through, you get it. Now on this factory speaker here, as you can see, this used to be foam on here. The reason why the factory put this foam on here was the same reason we're telling you to put the fast ring on there. They do it from the factory. I don't know why it's taken us so many years to figure it out. I mean, duh. What's a good DSP to use? Brands? What's that one I hate? DSP?
Dayton?
What?
Dayton?
Dayton. Anybody but Dayton. Anybody, we'll go with that. It's easier to say what I don't like as opposed to what I like. Hello from Russia. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, so there we go. All right, guys, that's it. We're going to call it there. We'll just let you guys get on with your day and have some fun. I got to get back to helping Fernando. He gets angry sometimes, Look at him. Look at that just angry look on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Do you know of an alternative to use besides the iTest mic? Yeah. I'll answer that one because it's funny. You can use the U-Test mic, right? So the U-Test mic is the universal version of the iTest mic. And to answer your questions before you ask, I will leave you with this. You can use it on an iOS Lightning device, an iOS USB-C, an Android mic USB, an Android USB-C, a Mac USB-A, a Mac Thunderbolt, a Windows USB-A. These are apps that you can use. And you might be asking, and there it is, Studio 6. Yep, this is made by Studio 6. Where can you get the U-Test mic? Obviously, you can get it from Studio 6 Digital, or you can order it from your local audio control dealer. They're the same guys that made the iTest mic, they just made a universal version of it so that everyone that didn't have iPads could still use the device. Shy of that, you have, you have the Audio Frog UMI1. This comes with all the pieces and a bitchin' CD, but this is still about $200. Or you can get the Dayton Audio if it's still available. Their little Dayton Audio microphone that plugs into your phone that way. And then, of course, it shows you how to set it up. There is some work you have to do with this. This is definitely the cheapest because if you can find them, they're only like $25 or something like that. But otherwise, yeah, there you go. All right, guys, good luck. Have fun. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Yes.
What are you working on? Oh, have you grabbed this harness yet?
No, not yet.
Because you might want to have the two harnesses there on the table at the same time. Just saying, because the way those all have to integrate together, like, remember this is going to go behind the radio, behind the amplifier, so this might not work the way you have this done right now.
This is behind the radio.
But the amplifier sits attached to the radio, so there's very little room between the two. So you kind of have to build the whole assembly and get it together to make sure that that's going to work. And that plugs into the side of the radio, or the amplifier. So what we're talking about here is this little funness here, the little cool KTA F or 450 and the ILX W650. You guys, if you haven't seen the video where we take and combine these two, definitely check it out if it's something you're interested in. Yep, these are the magical brackets. I think they have the right screws now. In our video, they only had Allen screws, but I think they finally got, they had flathead screws, but I think now they actually have Phillips screws. But what we're working on is this gem here. Hey guys from Massachusetts, what's happening? So look at this. This is the speaker that came out of it. But look how shallow this thing is. This thing is like super pancake. Obviously it's dead. Oh no, I cut off the factory. It won't be able to go back to factory. Oh shucks. We won't be able to reinstall these. Fernando, what will we ever do?
What happened?
We cut this off. Oh, and now we won't be able to put these fine factory speakers back in. That's a shame, right?
Yeah.
It's a tearjerker. Wipe the
You just
tear on
voided
your
the
cheek.
warranty on this.
Voided the warranty on this car. Anyways, what we got going on is we've updated these to the Rockford Prime, and they're going in the front doors here as well as up in the dash location. So the dash location is right here. All set. We have our 47 microfarad cap on there to keep those things under control. And that is it. In this particular one, these, if you notice, they have these cool little ridges on them right here. These are designed to be cut off. And there's only 2 screw provisions on this factory. So what I like to do is actually bend them so that the speaker doesn't rock. And if you can see there, we also put foam in. We cut these a little bit shorter to get the driver in, because in the dash, there is this area here. But the nice thing is it's cut here at the top, so the speaker terminals, they're going to rest up there. They don't get anywhere, and then it's going to plug back into the factory here, which, because these guys, these were what was in there, yay, it allowed us to remove and reattach. So this will just plug back in. And the unique thing about this, and this is the case in a lot of Toyotas, if you'll notice, see how you have 4 wires here? The tweeter is the pass-through. So it's like this on pretty much all the Toyotas now. So if you have, let's say, the tweeter or the mid-range up in this area here, that's going to be the pass-through. The one up here in the dash, that's the pass-through. Sometimes what will happen is that people unplug these and they'll wire these up, and then they'll be like, I'm getting no sound here. Well, that's because they didn't loop these back together. So the simplest thing to do is, if you're not going to be using these, is to take that harness, this one, and just plug it back in, and that will keep that problem from happening. But there you go, little tip for the day. Next, we're going to be working on the rear doors. They have these little tiny things, those, and these are the grills that cover them. They stick out quite far, so the plan there is to not use any of that, but to use these 1-inch adapters and mount our 5 1/4 onto this, and then reattach it to the grill. Now, somewhere around here, here it is. This is what we used on the front doors. Essentially, this is this whole pattern, this size here, but then the center is the 5 1/4 inch primes. So we laser cut this out and test fit it, because there's going to be a gap. Mounting these on the outside, there's going to be a gap between where this and the door is. So we made a spacer so that it sits like this, and this screws back into the factory screw provisions for the speaker. And then we have our 4 new holes for this to attach to. What most people would do in the past is they just run like 2.5-inch drywall screws all the way through here, real cool. And that would, crush this into the door. We didn't want to do that naturally, so we came up with a better option, which is this guy here. Of course, we're not cool enough to have this work on the back because it has a different style mount. So next is to figure out a mount that's going to take us through these 3 holes out to something like this, so we can then screw in our 1-inch spacer, this guy that we just showed you here. So that's the next plan that I'm going to be using the cool laptop Glowforge combination while he is getting this. See, we got the pieces out now. This is the cool mount that allows you to mount this to the back of the radio. It's got these little tongue-in things, and then you remove these screws, and in the bag here, or wherever the part bag is, there's 2 new screws that are longer. But what we were talking about is, see, it sits, this plug is going to sit, and then when you lift this up, you also have to go ahead and pull it off. I'm sorry. Go ahead and pull it off. You have to make sure that the USB does one of these things, and then your RCA's plug into here, and then your mics all plug in. So you kind of have to like assemble this in the dash last. So it's like plug everything in and then clip it on while it's in the car, and then put those 2 screws in. So it's a good thought, but it's a good thought. But it could have been a little different, I think. I don't know. It's a work in progress, It's a first. But this is nice because this insets pretty far, and remember, these wires also have to come through here, so they're going to be right here. So you got this big harness. Yeah, fun. Yay. So that's what's happening in our life today. And in case you're wondering, yes, the first thing we did when we got this car in was give it an alcohol bath, because I really wasn't thrilled about working on this car. Kind of gross. But hey, whatever. The other thing, too, is the car we done earlier today was for an older gentleman, and I guess they're just not taking this thing all that seriously. I mean, I'm thankful for the work, but, this news thing that's going on, I don't know. But hey, we're in Florida. What do you expect? I mean, here they had to finally close the beaches so people get a clue. Hope you guys are doing good. Our shop in Largo got shut down from viral concerns. Ooh, be safe, guys. And they should clean up before bringing that one in. I know, right?
Yep.
But we've been cleaning the cars, cleaning our hands. My hands are so dry right now because it's like between hand sanitizer and soap and towels and... have you noticed how much you actually really want to touch your face? Does your face itch all the time?
No.
See, mine does. Mine is, it's like, and I gotta constantly push up my glasses, so it's like, oh my God, it's ridiculous. You still working? I'm on my way. Of course we're still working. No, it's thankful for the business. There's no question about it. I don't want anyone to get sick, and I feel like, whatever. I don't know. This is a strange one, guys. This is a strange one. But anyways, Onward and up. We don't want to spend too much time dwelling on that. There's enough of that on that little boob tube over there to keep everyone's what's going on pretty much at maximum potential right now. So, yay. One thing we did learn last night. So one of the benefits, I should say, of this is we've been getting, like yesterday, we had 2 big go-to meetings. Audio Control did theirs, which was totally open to everybody. So Matthew Palumbo and Chris Bennett did a really nice training to kind of test the waters and see how it went. You can head over to Audio Control's Facebook page and see that. They talk about all the products and kind of do a generic product review of everything that they're working on. It's a lot of the trainings that we actually sit through. I know we sat through it 3 times in California, so it wasn't really too much new for us, but we still went and watched just to support it. Plus, naturally, as soon as they were done, they gave us a call and we're like, what do you think? And we're like, do this. And then last night we had a Kenwood training, Exelon, where we went through and checked out their new, some of the new radios that are coming out, the big 10-inch. So if any of you guys are interested in the big 10-inch that's coming, originally it was scheduled to be here sometime in July. June? Was it June? No, shipping in June for July.
Here in July, yeah.
For July, but you're probably not going to see that thing until August. So if you're hoping to get that 10-inch, just start saving. Probably be sometime in August if this clears up in the normal time frame. There's a chance it'll still get here in July, but I'm thinking realistically August. I hope I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot when it comes to stuff like that, so that's okay. The other thing we got to take a look at was their dash cams. So Kenwood has a whole bunch of dash cams. I feel we need to get our hands on one of those because I really like the magnetic mount.
Yeah, that was pretty
that
cool.
holds it. So they got like this cool magnetic mount that has everything attached to it. So you just it snaps onto this magnetic mount. So you keep the mount on the car. The car has the wiring for it, but then the camera just clips on and off with a magnet so that you don't have to leave it there and get it stolen. It's pretty cool. And of course they make 3 different cameras. They make an affordable one that just is a single front cam. They make a dual cam. They make a high-end dual cam. Oh, they made 4 cameras. Was it 4 cameras or 3? I don't remember. Was it 3 cameras? They make a good, better, best, which is really cool. The best one is made to stay permanent. No, there was 4. There was 4 because you had 3 that were removable and 1 that was made to be permanent that goes up at the top of the dash and kind of blends in with the 3 of them do rear cameras, I think. Anyways, we'll get more information on that. But needless to say, if you're in the mood for a dash cam and you want it to be removable, because let's say you live in the sketchy part of town, you might want to check out the Kenwoods. Just saying. We also got to check out the new high-res cam that they have coming out. Hey, you know who's here?
Who?
Morel.
Hey, hi.
We haven't talked about Morel in a minute.
That's right.
But they're here, so definitely go check out your Morel. Those Pancake Integra, they just need a little bit of syrup on top, and they'll be so wonderful. For sure. Loving it. So on my desk is my Morel pen that Natasha sent us.
Yeah.
And I had to take it out to the what I like to call the living room office, or my TV tray that I edit all my videos on. And I set it down, and then I got up. You know how when you set something down, you immediately lose it?
Yeah.
It disappeared. And I was like, where the hell did it go? Dude, I tore it. It fell. I found it.
Yeah.
But I was freaking out because it was like that should have never taken it off my desk. But I found it, so life was good. Now crisis was averted. But it was kind of amusing, needless to say. What's your thoughts on the Audio Control LC 4.800 versus the Alpine R or X series amps? We haven't done anything with the new R or X series amps, but we've done a whole lot with the new LC 4.800. What we're waiting for is the new 6-channel to come in so we can play with that a little bit. But, I have all the confidence in the world in the 4.800. It's a ton of power, especially if you're going high level. There's nothing like it. What amp will you slap on a Prius to run a whole system like a 7-channel amp? Like a 7-channel amp?
7 channels.
7 channels rough. I don't know of anybody who just has like 6 is kind of like the max, but 5 is the norm. If you're looking to go, okay. So let's say you want to go full active, you need a normal sub amp. And you want to be like real efficient. Obviously the Helix stuff is there. You have the Prima 8-channel that'll do it. And then if you want to go power, no DSP, I'd check out the Rockford Power Series. You can do like 1005 and the T4.2. Make sense? Yeah, works for me. 3,000 watt system, all Class D. Is there a formula for figuring out what size battery I want to use one if possible? How do I figure out battery? There again, easy enough. That's actually just go to the battery manufacturer of choice. We use Stinger. They have one there. It's going to be the same for anyone else's. You go Stinger, whatever. Just look up Stinger batteries. Google that. And Stinger when you're looking at the batteries, they actually tell you how much power it's made for. So that makes it real simple. So you have 3,000 watts. Just go and look for the battery that's made for a 3,000 watt simple. They make it super simple. Buy one of those and you're good to go. If you don't want a Stinger battery, just look at the size of the battery and cross-reference that with anyone else's battery you want to use. Thanks for all the great videos and tips. You're welcome. Yay, Morel says. Tell Fernando I said hi.
Bye.
What's a good 6.5, 6 3/4 component and coaxial speaker can I get that will give me the best overall sound quality and really good bass? I mean, that's kind of a loaded question. I mean, okay, the more money you spend on a set of speakers, the better the mid bass is going to be, just because it's a better designed mid bass. The less money you spend, the less you're going to get. The only exception to that rule is if you check out like the Kenwood Exelon 7-inch components. Because it's a 7-inch, you get the benefits of having that 7-inch that's going to give you a lot more mid-bass out of that driver because of the bigger driver. It comes with a 1/2-inch adapter, not even 3/8 adapter or something like that allows it to fit into a 6.5 location. So as long as you don't have front depth concerns, you're good to go. You can pick up one of those and, yeah, be really nice. Do you think the Alpine Restyle radio is worth the investment for a 2018 Silverado with Bose? Or would I lose too many features? Oh, 2018. Wow. With Bose, that means he's got every feature under the sun. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if I'd do that. I mean, yeah. 2018 with Bose, that means it's the full premium everything.
If you have everything, don't change the radio.
I mean, you could just do a Amp Pro GM61 or AP4 GM61 or the Zen GM and get full preamp to go to any amplifier you want. So I mean Toshlink output, the whole 9 yards. So I mean, if there's a feature you want, cool. If you're just doing it to have a bigger screen, nothing I would do yet. But if you're trying to add a system, just get one of those interfaces and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a sacrifice anymore. I mean, you're not losing out. Just like I said, buy one of those. I mean, dude, I saw somebody the other day that was doing a Silverado or a Sahara, same one, 18, and they used I mean, it's like, do a little bit of research. They used a freaking JL interface.
Yeah.
They went high level out of a Bose amplifier into this whole system, and I'm like, why would you do that? Yeah. Literally just plug in an AP4 or a Zen and you get a full preamp section, or at the least you can go Toshlink into a DSP. I mean, why would you want to struggle like that? Because it's not going to fix it. I mean, that system's a nightmare. Oh God. Just do your homework. Hi guys, I have a JVC head unit that has 2 pairs of pre-outs. The head unit has time alignment. If I split the rear RCAs from 2 to 4 and feed the sub, will I still have time alignment on the head unit? Yeah, I mean, yes, you'll still have time alignment on the head unit. Will it be working properly? No. Aftermarket, I mean, the simplest solution for that is either buy a little bit better head unit or pick up like a DSR1. Aftermarket radio in 2015 Chrysler 300 without factory amp, Uconnect, now making static noise. All speakers, even with volume, quiet, and AC mode. Uconnect. Okay, so one thing I'll tell you straight up, when it comes to Chryslers, Dodge, Jeep, whatever, if there's a Uconnect system in it, we never retain it. So as far as that problem goes, wouldn't have an idea, clue, nothing, because we never retain those features. They all go bye-bye. If we're putting in a radio, it's got CarPlay or Android Auto, that's what's getting used, not Uconnect.
So actually yesterday we did a Mustang. That was a Mustang?
Yeah.
And
sync.
The customer actually retained sync.
Well, he flashed his
He flashed it with
to
the
retain
sync.
sync.
Yeah. and the phone buttons that wasn't working. So we reflash it.
Got rid of the
sync,
sync.
and everything works fine. So.
Garbage. Is the JL Fix 88 a good DSP? It's the Tweak 88 is the good DSP. The Fix is just a high level to low level adapter
to clean the signal
with de-equalization. It's not a DSP. It's got some channels, but it's made for de-equalization. So JL broke their DSP into two pieces. You have the Fix and you have the Tweak. The Fix is if you're going to go off of a factory radio or factory system and you need to be able to do like summing and de-equalization. The Tweak is to go in as the DSP, your time alignment, your gain controls, and all those other fun things. So unlike most manufacturers that just give you one cool processor do everything, they split it into two. And it is confusing, I will give you that. Have you noticed an AP4 GM61 produces a pop when the radio first boots fully? Chime will already be on, so it's not the AP4. Just when head unit finally comes on, didn't happen when I had my LC2i. Okay, it's probably not the GM61. What we have noticed is that when we do a GM61 into a DSP, we typically leave our DSP connected to our GM61, and then we have the amps turned on from an accessory that's located on the passenger side of the car. Is it a brown wire still? Do you remember? Was it a gray wire?
On the Chevy?
Yeah.
It's a gray wire.
Gray wire. So in the passenger, this area here, hold on. On the GM, you guys have like this area here on your dash where this panel pops off and there's some wiring there. There's a gray wire in there. Obviously, take a digital multimeter and test it. That's a true accessory. Meaning it's not on through start, but it comes on. We use that to turn on our amplifiers. That way, it's a timing issue between the two that you're getting the pop from. At least that's what we've found. Yep. So anytime we do that, we split the two, so the DSP turns on before the amplifiers do. Give it a test, see if that works for you, but that works for us. I'm just worried about the Bose amp crapping out later. It's if it happens, it happens. I mean, by then, hopefully we'll have a better solution then. And they're coming. There's more solutions coming for that GM. But in the meantime, it still makes more sense just to do an Amp Pro. You know, it's 2018. I mean, it's not that old. Yeah, you got time. And honestly, that hasn't been an issue where those amps are dying. Yeah, most of the time, like, we'll know, oh, yeah, those are, like it's a Ford Sony amp. Oh, God, But no, that amp hasn't been giving, there's no reported issues on those amplifiers that we've seen. And trust me, these guys love to bitch about this stuff. So, yeah. All right. Answer that. Please listen to Dean about the pack and the Amp TV going through an LLC. Yeah, it sucks. I'll definitely go Amp Pro. There you go. Any recommendations on a good car audio battery to replace my stock one in a Ford Raptor? So when it comes to under the hood batteries, I buy under the hood batteries. So pick up an AGM, real expensive battery. Personally, believe it or not, the Ford factory batteries, like from Ford, are really, really good. Factory batteries are expensive and they're awesome. Everyone always wants to settle for, aftermarket, discount auto parts stuff. Not knocking them. I have one of those in my car right now only because my car died on like a Wednesday night at 8 o'clock and that was the only battery I could get. Had I been smarter, I would have had GM put the battery in when I had it in the month previous. I didn't think about it, but I got 5 years out of my factory battery. So factory batteries, especially like BMWs, Mercedes, but those factory batteries are really good batteries. Otherwise, just buy the biggest AGM you can find. Don't go crazy with some car stereo battery. That's really not what they're made for. They're made to go in the car. They're made for different use, not starting. Battery's battery, I get it, but just stick with something that can bake up underneath the hood.
Stay in your lane?
Yeah, stay in your lane. Definitely. Hey, Dean, my system has a whining noise. I have replaced all RCAs and ground, stranded drag, chassis, bolted, different sides. Sometimes it's just the amplifiers, man. If you've tried every single thing you can with wiring, then it's probably not the wiring. It's probably one of the pieces of equipment. Now you have to figure out that. So it could be a bad amp. It could be a bad radio.
An EQ.
Could be an EQ. So now you got to start going down the path of, But yeah, sometimes it's just the equipment. It's nothing you can do about it. How has the COVID-19 changed life for your install shop? I mean, I gotta be honest, it's really weird. So it really hasn't affected the customer base too much. Here in Florida, these people are still crazy, and apparently car stereo is way more important than life. We just got done doing an older gentleman's car. He had to be like late 60s, early 70s.
Yep.
And the only thing he was concerned about is he couldn't listen to Rush Limbaugh anymore because all the speakers died. So can y'all do it like an emergency, really quick stereo in my truck so I can get back to it?
Like an emergency?
And I'm like, yeah. We have alcohol spray and wipes. We've been cleaning everything. Today has been a real struggle because it's been a real struggle with this car. But yeah, we're just clean. We're just trying to keep everything clean. We wash our hands constantly. Personal space, with the exception of between the two of us, because we spend way too much time together already.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, I try to stay as far away from him as possible, but he keeps dragging me back
right
in.
Here.
I know. Let's see, a kicker. Oh, there you go. That's nice. Thanks so much. I have a kicker IQ. 504 on my highs and 1001 on subs. We'll add aftermarket camera radio. That's a nice combination. Make sure when you do that, you go back and retune. So, yes. And make sure you go into the Kenwood and turn off all the features. Nice thing about Kenwood is most of the stuff comes already turned off. Because EQ comes set to flat, loudness is off. Actually, I don't think you have to do anything at Kenwood. They come off for everything. Pioneer that has everything on, set to powerful, so we can turn it on. It's like, oh my god, it sounds so great. Question for both of you: what's your favorite tool you use on a daily? I have a pair of crimpers I've had for about 20 years. They are my babies. What's your favorite tool, Fernando?
I gotta think about it. Wow, what is my favorite tool to use?
See, I would say your red panel tool. Because you use it a lot and you're really digging it.
Yeah, but I don't know, man.
I mean,
wow, I gotta think about that one, man.
I can tell you mine.
Yeah.
I can tell you mine. It's right over there. That guy. Ooh, my Glowforge.
Okay.
I love my Glowforge. I'm not gonna lie. That's my favorite tool right now. It wins. It wins every time. That's my little desk to work on stuff. But yeah, I love my Glowforge. I think it's definitely the funnest. If I had to go second, I don't know. I really like this. I like my mini Aussie iron. I really dig this because I like the small one, even though it's not available anymore. I'm really digging that. My favorite new tool is this. Oh my gosh, I love this. Oh, this is the best. Yeah, I put away the air one. Oh, we're almost air free, other than having to blow things off. Oh, we had to use the aerosol yesterday.
Yeah.
So we don't have like a needle aerosol yet, or
I think we
needle.
have that.
We need something to replace that, so we can just be all battery.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I think it's gonna be fine.
Yeah. All right. So can you think of a tool?
Nope.
You should just.
I got nothing.
I like this. This is my favorite tool. I take it with me wherever I go.
Nope.
All right, guys. Listen, we're going to. Kakistan. Holla from Kakistan. If you don't know that crossover adds a whining noise to your car. Yeah, okay. Passive crossovers can if they're mounted next to something and they're cheap. Yep. All right, listen, we got to get back to work. Thanks so much for tuning in today. You guys have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Do you need a nap? What are you doing?
I'm gonna make a hole right here in the radio so we can put the CD.
What? Oh, because, the kit. Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah. Yep. Hey, guys. How's it going today? Saturday, checking in. I know, right? It's another F-150. Hey, there I am. For these guys who know how this works. Yay.
It's the only cars in Florida. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're all F-150s. Everyone is hanging out on the beach and
Really?
drives an F-150. No one's hanging out on the beach anymore.
I'm like, really?
No.
They just closed that.
Yeah, the beach is closed. Johnny, what's going on? I'm jealous that you guys have customers. I totally understand that.
We're shocked that we have customers.
We're shocked that we have customers too, but you know, Florida, man, go figure. These guys are whatever, you know. Does anybody have a 5th gen Ram in Florida? Funny you should mention that. Actually, what had happened is we had a guy come in this week and wanted to get a install done. And so we quoted him prices, all his equipment, and had an Alpine 12-inch touchscreen, so it was going to be an Amp Pro, bypass all the ANC mics. So the system energy people are coming out. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, so sold the system to him, Frostbite box, the whole 9 yards. You know, Paul gave him the price. And he decided, 2020 car, apparently he didn't want to spend that kind of money, so he went to our competitor and got a price from them that was less. So naturally, that's what you do. You just go with whoever's going to price you out the least, which is dumb, but I get it. Turns out they apparently didn't walk out to a car, got him the wrong box. Well, I knew you'd have cars, Anthony. People in you guys are supposed to be in lockdown in California. What the heck?
Yeah.
Of course they got cars. People are like, screw that, man. Anyways, so they got him the wrong box, and that's a pretty tough car to work on. So if you're not up to, I'm pretty sure they didn't sell him an Amp Pro. It's like, okay, yeah, you saved some money on your brand new truck. And, what confidence do you have in the shop if they got you the wrong box? And we know this because fortunately for us, they actually had to come here and buy the Frostbite box from us to put in there. So
What's up, Mel?
Good on them, but whatever.
Yeah.
And they come back and you have to fix. Yeah, I know, right?
So stay tuned for the 911.
Yeah, that might be 911 in the future.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah. So what's going on, Mel? But yeah, it's like I guess if you're going to go somewhere and get a price, do your research. If all you're shopping for is price, then fine. Be price, get what you get, and don't pitch a fit. We've all said that to our kids. Get what you get, and don't pitch a fit. But I don't know. We get customers that come here now, thanks because of this, and and we show what we do, and we show what we do, and it's like. If you do any research, like I talked to a guy this week, it was funny, or last week, I don't remember. It's all a blur. And he was here asking me a bunch of questions about morale, which I thought was odd because no one ever comes in and just wants to talk about morale. And he had never actually heard of us before. He just came in and was talking, didn't know anything about the YouTube channel. And he was like, I do all my stuff myself. I don't trust shops. And I was like, well, have you seen our work? And he was like, no, but I was like, most shops don't have tools and they don't know how to do stuff right. And I'm like, I said, ask me any tool you think I might not have. And he's like,
How long you been in quarantine, buddy?
Yeah, I was like, he's like, well, do you have an oscilloscope? And I was like, I got 4. Would you have an RTA? 6, 7, maybe 8. I don't know. I got enough of them. I have every SMD tool he makes except for the new one that isn't shipped yet. I'm like, dude, go to YouTube, check us out. We show you everything. I've been watching all the videos, and both Tina and I do great work. Dang, Thanks, Mel.
Thank you.
If you guys don't remember Mel.
You actually share.
Yeah, I know, I saw that. If you don't remember Mel, he's one of our Phantoms. This is his cool trophy. He left it with us. First place. 3X sound competition battle. Like an idiot, I forgot to have him sign it. So that means one of two things. I either have to wait till next year, if and when they come back, or if we ever get to go to Texas, I'm going to take it with me and have him sign it. Because it has to have a signature.
Next year, maybe.
Next year. Wow. Just wanted to go different on my bass. I have 2 sundowns and a fixed Fox box, thinking P2s, and forward firebox. I don't know. forward firing seems to be the way to go now. I've never been super excited about it, but wow, I haven't had a customer like that in a while. I know, Johnny. I know, right? Wiley, Texas.
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear. From Cali and not on lockdown. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, Fernando got out of frame. I like to film him while we're doing this because then it looks like one of us is at least working. You get what you pay for. Absolutely, Brian. You know that. I'm almost done with my 19 Ram new head unit, T2 components in front, T1 6x9s. Has wow, okay, wow, you fit all that in there? Good for you. Mel's the best. It's not mandatory in Cali. Oh, okay. Well, that's the word. See, that's what we're getting here. We're getting here that mandatory. Everyone's locked down in California is what they're saying in our news, and it's like, and of course, but the news is saying that we're all hanging out on the beach. The sheriff and the chief of police were actually on this morning, pissed at national media because they keep using the same footage from Monday. The beaches are all locked down. There's no going anywhere. And by the way, I'm glad we're talking about car stereo. But if you want to talk about car stereo, there's a couple places that you can go to do that. Insert infomercial here. For one, tonight, 6 o'clock, YouTube. We're going to be there. We're going to be answering questions and talking about all kinds of fun things that y'all love about car audio. 2, you can head over to Facebook. I was just going to say, you're finishing your 2019 Dodge Ram. If you did pretty wiring on it, then you need to head over to the 12-volt Clean Wire Club. I came up with the name and I can't remember. Facebook group, 12-volt Clean Wire Club. You can post pictures of your awesome wiring and or find someone who does. If you just like awesome wiring, head over there, put up your pictures. If it's good, we'll let it stay. If it sucks, we're going to pull it down.
Yeah, and that's what I want to say. Some of this, I understand this is your first job, you're trying, but if it's not what we're looking for, that be clean.
Yeah, don't feel bad.
It's gonna go down. Also, panels.
No panels.
It's something in the
no
panel,
custom fab.
But if you remove the panel and show me in the next picture the nice wiring, it's gonna stay.
Yeah.
If you're just showing the panels and everything, it's not gonna stay.
Oh, and it's not a lighting channel either. If you got cool lighting and you don't show the cool wiring because the lighting,
what's the point?
I'm sorry, it's gonna go bye-bye because we're trying to keep it clean. We want clean wiring.
Clean wiring,
not clean lights.
Hands.
I can appreciate it, and I'll look at it, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's badass," and then I'll go delete.
But that's what the page is about.
Yeah, it's about clean wiring. So now, for the rest of you guys, there's good questions on there. Yeah. So there are starting some good conversations, which I like, which is what it's about. We want to help everyone be better at what they're doing, so feel free to ask questions. If you see something you like, you don't understand how they're doing it, ask. I mean, if they don't answer, fine, they don't answer, but somebody might, so ask away. Thirdly, if you're sitting at home and you're bored and you're watching this and going, man, I wish I had more. Haley's pinging me right now. I wish I had more stuff to watch. Mm-hmm. Great! Guess what? We have a new YouTube channel. It's called Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips. That's right. Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips on YouTube. What we've done is we've taken the Monday show and the Saturday show and we're breaking them into your questions. So they're small little bite-sized videos that just take question, answer, boom, done, bye, on to the next one. There's 70 or 80 of them up there now. This weekend there'll be more because obviously I'll be at home. I'm going to edit some up, throw them back up there. But the idea behind it is all the simple little things that you guys wish we would log into the long videos so you could just get to there. We've made a channel for that. Mm-hmm. So it's Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips. Now, with all that being said, who cares? Let's get back to this.
I'm just going to say real quick, subscribe if you haven't subscribed.
Oh, you got to subscribe.
Like the page.
Just subscribe. Just subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000, guys.
Yes.
Do you know any respectable car audio installers in Southern California?
They got plenty, man.
There's a ton. And there again, 12-volt Clean Wire Club, you can throw it out there and ask. Yeah. Because if they're got clean wire, they're in the club. Mm-hmm. Just saying. Give Anthony a call. I don't know if they're in South. I don't know how far south you want to go. Audio Systems.
Thank you, Jason.
Get Junior to make us some awesome panels.
Panels.
Okay. Jesus.
Where is it?
I don't know. He's here somewhere, right? I hope he is. Or is he on vacation? That's why all this stuff's going down.
His truck.
How much modification would you think it will be to fit a 7-inch Kenwood component two-way on a third-generation Honda Pilot? I think you're cool with depth, but you're probably just going to have to cut the hole bigger. So little air saw action in the door. You're all good. The one thing that's fun about Hondas is, let's use this as an example. It's a bad example. But when you're, think of the door as right here is where they, like this seam right here. And we're talking about the metal, by the way, not the plastic. They seam two pieces of metal right here where the speaker overlaps. So what happens is you have all this easy material to cut right here, but then you hit here where the two seams are, and it's like 1/8 inch thick. It sucks. It's like, and it takes 4 times as long to cut this side as it does the whole side. That's really the only sucky thing about a Honda. But other than that, there's usually enough depth, so you'll be okay.
All right, I just got here. Where can I subscribe? What can I subscribe?
So you can subscribe to Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips on YouTube.
Yep.
Of course, there's the 5-star YouTube channel.
Yes.
And of course, on Facebook, the 12 Volt Clean Wire Club. 12 Volt Clean Wire Club.
12 Volt Clean Wire. That's right.
That's my truck.
It is your truck?
It could be. Do you have these seats? Yeah. Oh, for those of you that are working on cars or in a bay, okay, here's the deal. So this is standard rubbing alcohol. This is a standard spray bottle. So what we've done is we've taken this and we did like a 3-to-1. So we filled it up with this much alcohol and then we filled it up with that much water. This is going to kill anything and cause your hands to get super dry and So when we get a car into the bay, first thing we do is clean the handle, clean that handle, clean the center console, clean the steering wheel, clean the airbag, clean the gear shifters, any place we're going to work. So all that area there all gets cleaned. And then we go to the other side, we clean that, clean this handle, we clean these buttons, we clean this pocket. This is the cleanest some of these cars have ever been. So we clean as much of this as we can. Now the funny thing was, I was talking to a friend of mine up in British Columbia, and he got a phone call, and the guy asked him, "What are you gonna do? Are you gonna clean your car? Are you gonna clean my car when you're done so that I don't get infected?" And of course he laughed, and my answer to that was, if I was infected, chances are good I won't be there to be working on your car because I'll be at home wishing I was not infected.
Thank you, Javi. Thank you, Javi.
Oh, did you put up a link?
Yes, he put a link.
There you go. Follow the link. Everyone, now stop what you're doing. Follow the link.
Yeah.
What's up from Cali? See, there are plenty of Cali guys. There's plenty of Cali guys. Head over to 12 Volt Clean Wire Club and then just ask. Say, well, we'll prove you because it might take a minute for us to prove it because we're kind of working. But then just so hey, post up Cali guys, post up your stuff from South Carolina. You can ask these questions. The whole reason for us to make this page was to put, because the one question we get asked nonstop is, hey, is there anybody in my area that you know that does wiring like you guys? And it's like, they're all over the country. Yeah. They're all over the world. So by making this page and it's both. So if you're in industry like us or you're fans like you, and the idea was to create a place where everyone could go, whether you do clean wire or not, you just like looking at it, you could possibly find someone in your area that is a clean wire addict like us, that has the same, and, get your stuff done. So there was ulterior motive behind it. We put a lot of thought into what the Clean Wire Club was going to be. Yep. It wasn't just going to be like another place where you could just all, because there was people like in industry forums go, oh, look, another page. Yeah. And I'm like, unfortunately, some of the guys are like, you do realize that's like Dean and Fernando's page, so I'm pretty sure it's not going to be like every other page. Yeah. So if you don't want to join, don't join. But, the ones that are joining and putting up amazing pictures of the work they do, it's like, yeah, duh. Yeah. I mean, it only makes sense. I mean, we're all into car audio, whether we do it ourselves or we pay someone else to do it. I mean, I prefer myself to pay someone else to do it because I just don't have the time. Yeah. I'm too busy putting in everyone else's stuff.
And I'm going to say, some of you guys actually do a really nice job on the cars.
I mean, if you think about it, we were all hobbyists before we were professionals. If you're a professional, yes. You were a hobbyist before you became a professional. That's why you became a professional, because you were dumb enough to be like, I really like this. I want to do it for a living.
Right. The F-150 that we did last 2 days, the white one. He did an amazing job.
That one. Oh, he did well.
In the panel.
Well,
and
dude,
that was crazy.
Well, the metal pieces that he made in his dash. for his bass knob.
Yeah.
I go, did you make those? You had to have made those. There's no way you found a perfect metal circle with a ripped edge. He goes, yeah, I got a tool problem. I got a lot of tools. I just didn't have time. He didn't have time. And it was like, no, that's cool. But he trusted us enough with his baby to finish it and do a nice job. And there you go. So, yay.
Okay. Luis, is there a reason why you like to run the wires on top of the ABS rack instead on the back of the ABS? It's because if you run it in the back, nobody's gonna see it.
But there is another reason for it other than that. Okay, so most of the time when we're doing an ABS panel, it's sitting on top of something. So for example, if we're going up underneath a seat, all right. So if you're going up underneath a seat, which this is a terrible seat, it's gonna sit on the floor, which means that I can't run the panel underneath because the panel is going to be sitting on top of there. So the whole idea for the panels in the first place was because we just didn't want to screw the amp to the floor. It seems kind of cheesy. So having the panel there is what the panel is then attached to the car. The amp is attached to the panel. It's serviceable. It's removable. It looks nice, as opposed to just me putting 2 drywall screws, screwing it through the frame of the car, and then running all the wire. So the idea behind the panel, and just like if we go behind the seat here, you know, it's for the amplifier to mount to. So here's a panel that you're going to see in a future video that we're working on. This is for a Toyota Tundra. This is going to go up underneath the seat. As you can see, there's a slight bend in it right here. These are going to be where the screw holes mount. The amplifier is going to sit, lines up with this. It's going to sit right here. It's a cool 5-channel MX amplifier. I don't have room to run these wires up underneath there, nor do I want to. I'm going to zip tie them in place and that's it. I'm not building an amp flush panel. I'm building an amp mount board. This is a tool. This serves a purpose, and that's it. Now, it helps if you can do pretty wiring, and that's why we do pretty wiring. If I was hiding all the wiring, even still, I would still be zip tying it into place and mounting it securely and all that. So why not just make it pretty where everyone can see it? Fold down back seat in sedan. What's your preference on facing the sub? I like to face back. I like to go back.
Mad daughter, say hi.
Oh, hi.
6 years old. Hi.
Hey.
Stay safe. Wash your hands.
Ask for cookies.
Yes, a lot of cookies.
Ask for cookies. How can I measure the power going to a sub? How can I make sure I get close to max RMS without blowing it? Well, you could do a little bit of math. So if you, there is a formula in Ohm's law for measuring the amount of power output of your amplifier. A little YouTube research, you should be able to find that flow chart. I know JL has on their website like maximum voltage output, but there is a mathematical equation for it that you can do. I think we've done a video on it. I know Mark has done a video on it. I think pretty much everyone's done a video on it at this point. But yes, there is a mathematical equation using Ohm's law that you can use to figure out how much power is coming out of your amplifier.
What's up from Iowa? How you doing, man?
Hey, I hope the new amp is working good.
Yes.
Good afternoon. What material do you use to drill the holes that you run the power wire from the battery? Ooh. I like to show tools, so I will answer this question. Is it in here? Yes, it is. So what we use to go through the firewall is we have this, which is a Milwaukee plumber's drill. As you can see, it is at this cool angle, which makes it awesome for going up into firewalls. As you can see, typically it is not easy to get a full-size drill in there because you got this big thing, much smaller. And we use this stepped drill bit right here. We replace them, what, about every 2 years?
Yeah.
I mean, the last one lasted a really long time.
Right.
Might have lasted 3 years. But I buy a nice high-end, like Unibit branded piece so that I can just leave it in there. And we never take it out. It just that's all this does. This serves one purpose. We have a lot of one-purpose tools that just do one thing, and that's it. Because it's just a pain in the butt otherwise. Like you guys have always seen these routers up on the wall. Though we don't build a lot of custom fab anymore, each one of those has its own bit in it, and they all do a specific thing. Up here, like the rivets, we use a ton of rivets. So this one has an M5 in it. This one hasn't. Actually, this is the M5. This is the M6 rivet head that we use, so we don't have to sit there. And those are the two size rivets we use. We use M5s the most So that's an M5, that's an M5, that's an M5, and the Air one is an M5. But we use M6s for license plates and oddball stuff like that. So we have just a tool to do M6s.
Yep.
Anytime we need just one tool to do one job, we buy the one tool to do the one job. It makes things nice. What's up, Jason?
Jason, the weather here is nice. It's like,
Oh
what?
my God, it's gorgeous. All right, let's do
Okay, right
weather
quick.
check with
Come on.
5-star car stereo. Hold on.
Oh. What's up, Bobby?
Ooh, it's gonna get, my glasses are gonna change. All right, look at that. Ooh, I know, right? It's a beautiful beach day, even though our beaches are closed. What is the temperature? It's like 80 something?
70 something.
No, this has got to be like 80. This is 80.
Sure.
This is hot. I mean, my pale skin's gonna start to, I can already feel it on my head. Ooh, yeah.
If you actually
Need a
wanna,
hat.
like, get a tan, just grab one of these cars, grab your glasses, grab a drink, stay here.
James Bond's MI6.
Ah,
It's 35 in Iowa. That falls in that category. You
All
lived
right,
in
so-
Florida. It sucks to be you.
Okay, so we're
47 in Cali.
we're
All
gonna
right, answer a
Luis-
question.
This question says, I feel the answer is simple, but I see your amp racks even thin sometimes. How the hell do you get the screws to not show in the back? We have different sizes of screws.
All right, first off,
Yep.
let's start here with this one. This is the first one we have. So this is like a 1/4 inch. So this is, that's a 1/2 inch. Oh, better pick that one up. All right, so that's 1/4, that's 1/2, and then we have 3/4,
3/4, and
we
the
have an inch.
Yeah, but we don't
All right.
use that. But
We don't use the inch that
when
much.
we have,
But we
when
also-
we have the amp racks.
So we have every size that Stinger makes, and all, okay, so there again, my OCD extends well beyond everything. So this is 1/2 inch, this is 1/2 inch self-tapping, this is 1/2 inch big head pointy tip, this is 1/2 inch self-tapping big head.
Yeah.
So that, and then over here you have drywall screws starting at 3/4, 1 inch, 1 1/4 inch, 1 5/8, 2 inch,
3 inch.
3 inch. So we have all that, and then down here, this is the same. It's all breaking up. So you have M5s. These are all labeled. Fernando got bored with one day and put all M5, M6. So we buy as much stuff as we can to do that. And the other thing we like to do is on the back side of them, we'll sand them down.
There you go. Let's go there.
So we just got in the new, my new favorite tool. We just got in the new Milwaukee, these guys. The new fuel right angle grinder. We went with 2-inch discs for right now, only because I have a box of these that I bought on accident. I figured this would be a good time to use them up. They have 4 different speeds on the back. So what we'll do is we'll sand the screw heads down. I typically like to wait. As you can see, we have a lot of screw drills. These are all holes. These are all holes from drilling those amp racks. So what I like to do is I like to wait till the end so that those screws will actually dig into the holes on the workbench. And because a lot of the times I'll be wrapping the wire and I need this to stay. So when I have all the pointy holes from the stuff on the bottom, it'll grab it into there. So Fernando went ahead and drilled in a screw. So you figure that's going to have an amp rack. We got a little pointy tip right there.
Use your glasses, people.
Yeah, I have mine on. And there you go. So now it's perfectly flat. Anytime anything's going to go underneath the hood of a car, that gets sanded perfectly flat just in case someone's reaching through. We don't need a sharp point to hurt your day or poke into a battery or a wire or anything like that. There you go. Good job, Fernando. Way to answer that question. Should I run new wire for my 2 sets of T2 components of my 2015 Nissan Altima S, and the best way to run wires to the rear doors? I tell you what, it is getting super hard to run wires through doors. If you have access to do it, if your car is capable of doing it and you want to do it, go for it. But what a lot of times you end up doing, let me go over here. So like this boot right here, this is a dream boot. You can go all the way through this, no problem. But on a newer Ford, this isn't a boot. It's a Molex plug that plugs in, and it's almost impossible to get through without having to damage the plug or drill your own wire someplace else. So what we'll do is we'll grab the wire here in the kick panel. In the case of the rear door, we'll grab the wire here in the B pillar. And then typically if there's a tweeter somewhere up here like this, we'll just run all new tweeter wires because those are the easiest ones to get to. If it's a rear deck, we'll run new wires to the rear deck. If it's in a side panel, we'll run new wires to the side panel. Just depends on what we're doing. I bought an LC7i to go into my 2015 Lexus SI non-Mark Levinson system. I'm installing speakers and amps to this. Did I make a mistake in getting the LC7i instead of a proper signal processor?
I think the 2015, it's not an Amp Pro Toyota.
Well, no. Some of the Lexuses work with the Amp Pro TY2 or 3.
Right.
Oh, hey, we're just looking at nothing. It didn't switch. Sorry about that. So if it's a base model and it has... no, you didn't make a mistake. Let's just start with that. Keep it simple. No, you didn't make a mistake. Depending on what you're going to want to do, all right, adding an EQ to that probably be an okay thing. You know, LC7i is a high-level, low-level adapter. If you have the right amount of channels, you're golden there. What am I looking for? Where did I put? Oh, it's up there. If you want to keep it simple, okay. So this is a new product. It's an old product, but I feel it's gonna for something like that, where an LC7i is cool. Okay. Let's not buy LC7Is just to buy LC7Is because you can't do anything with them. It's just a high-level to low-level adapter. I have a great idea for a video on that. But what you may want to buy is this guy here. Okay, this is the LCQ1. It's an LC7i, but it has a 6-band EQ front, 6-band EQ rear, and a 5-band EQ for the subwoofer. Okay, LC7i with an EQ. What this will allow you to do is go into something like that Lexus. You don't want to get all crazy, all DSP'd up. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do one of these. I need a degree in sound engineering. Oh, no. This, nice and simple. We want a little bit more mid-range. Crack these up just a bit. I mean, it has 12 dBs of adjustment, but as you can see on the last car that this came out of a Toyota Tundra with a JBL system. This went in before an Amp Pro even existed. Very little. This is all it took, and it sounded amazing. See, look at nothing there, just a little bit. We had to pull this 500 hertz down because I hate 500 hertz, but everything else looked really nice. And of course, the bass roll off in that, we got our AccuBass. We got a little bit of boom here going on, a little boost to the 80 hertz, so it gives you that nice punchy sound. So, yeah. The LC7i, great piece. It'll feed in. Whatever you feed in, it's going to feed out at a lower voltage, so you can plug in an amplifier. It's a great piece to do that with. But you're not going to fix anything.
El Fernandez, what's up, buddy?
Coronavirus. Sucks.
Oh, from Brazil.
Yeah. What's the best way to set the crossovers so I don't damage my speakers? All right, so... depending on what device you're using, whether you're going to be using a radio or an amplifier. Amplifier is obviously going to be a little bit harder. But if you're using an amplifier, turn the little dial to somewhere around 80 hertz. Okay, obviously somewhere around because it's a dial. It's not going to be perfect. And your radio, do the same thing. Typically a radio, it's going to be like 80 hertz. You can pick 12 dB, 18, 24, whatever turns you on. And start there. Listen to the speakers. Play the music you're going to be listening to without a subwoofer on. Okay, and listen to it and see how it sounds. If you hear the speaker starting to bottom out and play sounds that aren't natural, one of two things is the problem. One, you either have your gain up too high, or you need to turn the crossover up a little bit higher to limit the amount of bass that is getting to it. Now, if you want to, I think I can get a little bit more bass out of it, obviously go the other way. Either way, keep an eye on the speaker, keep an eye on its movement, and listen to it the whole time. And that's going to be the easiest way to do it by ear. Now, if you're fortunate enough to have something like the Steve Mead CCA1, which is this guy, yeah, it's one of these guys, I think it's that one, then you can play like a test track. You can dial it in exactly, whatever frequency you want it to, you can go from there. But using the other method will get you where you want to go. What's going on with the 911? Nothing. We're on day 2 of it. It's going along great. It's going to end well. Has a happy ending. I'll tell you that right now. Everything turned out wonderful. You're going to see more of it next week. That's about it. How to run wires for a 4-channel amp on my Tundra 2008 with a JBL factory amp. Go to the amplifier, bypass it, tap in, run to the amp. Taco Tunes makes a harness for that if you want to keep it simple. Pack also has one, but it's not. It's like an Isuzu harness that they use for that. So, yeah, typically you got to make something on 2008. Since our shop in Largo is closed, I'm throwing Alpines in my taco priorities, I guess, for an apocalypse. Totally understand that, man. Are we going to get kicker key lock video soon? Yeah, so soon is just maybe. So we just did a unboxing, kind of like we did an impromptu video last week, if you didn't catch that, where we showed you the RTA feature built into it. So if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check that out. At the time when we shot that, we didn't have, what are we looking for?
This.
Oh yeah, good call. We didn't have all the the instructions and the tracks for it yet. We just got those in, so now that we have those, we can go back, and if time permitting, we'll start filming those videos. I think they were getting them in at Kicker hopefully this week or last week or whatever, so they should start shipping out soon, so we'll definitely get it on that and pick up the pace. Have you ever had to send a customer away because the car was too messy, or do you always bite the bullet and clean? Oh, God. So that would have been yesterday. We had a car that really needed a hazmat suit to work on. It's just what it is, man. Just what it is. I don't like bugs like the next guy, but yeah, no, they just keep coming. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I wish people just clean out their cars. Do you have to get a wiring harness, or can you... Hold on. Do you have to get a wiring harness, or can you just tap or cut the stock harness for the Lexus? I wouldn't cut it myself. I would try to find a wiring harness. I mean, I would try to find a harness. I mean, you can cut it if you want. That's entirely up to you, but I would see if you can find one. You're not going to find one that's a Lexus harness. You're going to have to do a little bit of research and take pictures of the harness and try to find things that match. Best place to start naturally is you have your three companies. You have MetroOnline.com, you have Pack-Audio, and you have iData. They all make parts and plugs, and they might not be wired right, but they might be the right plugs that you can just plug in and go with it from there. And with that, we're going to end the video because we got another car that's getting ready to pull around. Remember, tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, head over to YouTube, and you can ask your questions there. We'll be doing an hour of fun and excitement of Q&A. Don't forget to head over to YouTube and subscribe to Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips. It's our new YouTube channel where it's clips. It's just Q&A all day long. Very short, very to the point. It's fun. Have fun. And we'll talk to you guys tonight. Hey, Johnny. Bye, Bobby.